Good morning. You are listening to the Coach's Corner on KYNT. Let's go to the voice of the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles, Bryce Ladwig.
Good morning. Welcome to the Coach's Corner this morning, only on KYNT-V. So you have a few minutes to let people know that watch or listen to this show. We're on early and on KYNT-V platforms this week and next week, our last show of the sports calendar year until we pick it up again in the fall. 2 interviews for you today. I have Coach Jeff Gross, our final interview of the year for Yankton Track and Field. And then I have Coach Brett Syme of Yankton Gazelles Golf, which will actually be our last conversation of the year as our schedules just don't mesh after the state tournament, which is coming up next week for us to get together. But don't worry, next week we will go over the state tournament results in full, and we'll also check out Yankton Gazelles softball up at the state tournament right now and let you know how you can keep track of that. We'll be back after this break here on KYN-TV. This is the Coach's Corner. Good morning.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
Hello, here's to welcoming moments, big and small, embracing the unexpected, savoring life. At Avera, our nationally recognized health system will be right here with you, ready for anything. We listen to your goals and help you achieve them with care and coverage. We'll move you forward through sickness and health and every milestone in between. Avera, moving health forward. Learn more at avera.org/forward.
Truxedo, a real truck company, has new job opportunities for you. We are searching for motivated candidates to fill a variety of roles, including production assemblers on our Wednesday and weekend shifts, as well as an industrial engineer and mechanical engineer. Truxedo offers a positive and team-oriented environment with many perks and benefits. Come seek the new opportunities Truxedo has for you. Visit truxedo.com/careers to apply.
Spring is the perfect time of year to start upgrading your home. And what better place to start than with your garage doors? This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors, free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Home improvement season is here. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
All right, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig joining me on the Pizza Ranch phone line earlier in the week. Coach Jeff Gross, we talked about the track and field season. It ended at the state tournament. You'll hear all of those results coming up in my conversation with him. He joined me on the Pizza Ranch phone line, as I had said. Let's just jump right into that conversation for the final time. Let's talk Yankton track and field for the 2023 season. Here's the conversation I had with Coach Jeff Gross. All right, let's start talking Yankton track and field for the final time this sports calendar year with Coach Jeff Gross. Coach, first of all, congratulations on a very successful track and field season. Your first as head coach in the Yankton program. We talked in the beginning of the season, just your history with coaching and just how prestigious it is, and coming to Yankton, how lucky we are to have you. And I just hope that your first year, not just results-wise, but overall experience-wise in Yankton, was a positive one.
Yep, it's kind of everything I was expecting it to be. The kids have been phenomenal. Coaching staff has been phenomenal. The results that we had were, what I was expecting. Of course, as a coach, you're always hoping and working towards more with the results. But the kids bought into everything that we were selling as a coaching staff, and the community has been great. The parental support and administrative support it's just been a great start to the to my tenure here in Yankton, and looking forward to many years to come. But yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, it was phenomenal. And the main crux of everything was the kids that we have here in Yankton, and just the kids that are competing in track and field. So great student athletes, and it was really fun and rewarding experience. Yes.
And as far as results go, Gazelles finished 10th at state. Bucks finished 6th in the Class AA overall. O'Gorman took the team title, and then Sioux Falls Lincoln took the girls AA title. And the field, coach, was stacked. Well, of course it's state, so of course it's stacked. But pretty much every meet Yankton was participating in all culminated in the biggest stacked card, which of course was state. Everyone's there, and it looked like just a back and forth competition across the board.
Yep. We were hoping to get both our girls and boys teams on the podium in the top 6. The boys were able to convert that there. Girls, we just had, ironically, we had a lot of 9th place finishes where we just didn't quite make the finals. And if you put all of the dice into the Yahtzee jar and shake them up and roll them out a different time, they come out a little differently maybe, and you do get that opportunity to finish in the top 6. But it's kind of similar to the way the boys basketball season went in their state tournament. If you had replayed that entire tournament, it was such a stacked field and so closely competitive. Things would have come out differently if you would have rerun it or replayed it. And that's the way the state track meet kind of was for those places 4 through 10 on both the boys and the girls side. It just kind of depended on who competed well on which day and who had the lucky breaks and who was off just a little bit or on just a little bit more than usual. But we're satisfied with where both our girls and boys finished. We don't really have much of a choice on that because you don't get to replay it. And that's the beauty of athletics. That's the beauty of life. You got to do it right the first time, or do it to your best of ability. And what happens, and learn from the successes and from the failures. And that's why we have educational athletics. But yeah, it was a great overall, just general comment, state track meet. Very entertaining to watch, both as a fan, as a spectator, as a coach, as a participant. We got to see some incredible things going on in those 3 days in Sioux Falls last week.
Yeah, and just a packed house and a great environment for those athletes, I am sure. Coaches, we do just about every week. Just want to run through some of the highlighted events, some high finishes for Yankton?
Yes, that'd be awesome.
All right, we'll start with junior Shay Rumsey, able to defend her state title in the 400 meter. The first back-to-back state title in the same event for a Yankton athlete since 2016.
Yes, Shay for the last month and a half has actually absolutely been an animal on the track. Put together a medley relay to kind of start things for Shay's state track meet experience. Put together a medley relay, and I know we'll touch on this in a little bit. The girls ended up getting third on that. Shay ran the 400 on that for us. Sydney Cirque ran the 800. And Olivia Dimmer and Berkeley Olson both ran 200s on the medley relay. I'm going to tell you they ran the 9th fastest time, not in school history, but in state history in that event to wind things up on Thursday. And that was good enough for 3rd place. That's how competitive that race was. So they ran the 9th fastest time in state history. There's a poster that a group of track aficionados, I guess you'd call them, puts out every year, and their name will be on that poster next year. So that's an exciting thing for them. They did finish 3rd. And Shay also ran the 2-mile relay, the 3,200 meter relay earlier in the day that day. I don't have my results right in front of me, but the girls got 3rd in that, I believe. Ran a solid time, ran right at about their fastest time of the year. I think just a couple seconds faster than that. And that, again, was Shay, who ran an absolutely unbelievable opening leg in that 2-mile relay for us. She ran a 2:14 or 2:15 split. It's just going to be exciting to see Shay, both to appreciate this year and her accomplishments already, and then to think of what she's going to be able to accomplish next year as a senior with even one more year of maturity, growth, strength, strategic experience, all of those things, and the way she's going to approach her senior year. She's going to have an absolutely unbelievable senior year. Other members of that 2-mile relay that Shay was on and started out for us, Sydney Cirque anchored it for us. And then Thea Chance, another senior for us, Sydney as well, the senior, both going to go on and compete in college. And then also Claire Terashinsky. And those girls kind of got things kicked off right away at the beginning of the meet for us.
And I do have that time for you if you want it, Coach. It was 9:36:22. I just pulled it up.
Thank you. And we did get third, correct?
Correct. Just behind Spearfish. Yep.
Yes. And then we also had Shay, of course, you mentioned she ran the Open 400 and absolutely dominated the field in both the prelims and the finals. And then one of those 9th place finishes that we got, our girls 1600 meter relay just didn't quite have what it took on that in the prelims on Friday, and we ended up finishing 9th in the mile relay. So that's always disappointing. You're not disappointed as far as points or anything like that, but just disappointed for those 4 girls. They were running well all year. They're just a little bit off on that Friday, and everybody else was, clicking on all cylinders, and we ended up getting 9th there. We didn't quite run our best, and that's just one of those deals of having to compete and putting it out there and doing it when it counts. But that was kind of Shay's schedule in a nutshell.
And Coach Dylan Payer, let's talk about him for a little bit. Finished 2nd in the 1600 meter run. He had quite the meet.
Yep, Dylan, talked about Shay. She was our top point getter on the girls' side. I think she was involved in 22 points. And Dylan was involved in 23 points on the boys' side. So got 2nd place to a legendary athlete. I mean, the kid's only 18 years old, but he's already a legend in South Dakota high school sports, Simeon Birnbaum. And, Dylan was kind of the best of the rest there and got to finish that event in front of a very good field. I mean, he ran a 4:20 in the 1600 meters. And, there were other guys right behind him in that same category. In a normal year, you'd be totally jumping up and down about how competitive that was. But this year, everything got distracted by Simeon a little bit there and just his phenomenal ability, talent, the work that he's put into things. Dylan also got 5th in the 3200 meter run, and then 2nd in third in the 800 meter run. He's the only returning athlete to any of those events. So he's setting himself up very nicely for next year, going into his senior year, looking at the possibilities for him. And then also he was the anchor runner on our 3200 meter relay. That was Carson Conway, Oliver Dooley, and Nate Schoenfelder also ran that event. And similar to our girls, they kicked off our state meet with a 3rd place finish there, or 4th place finish, I'm sorry. And just kind of got things started off. Again, we didn't quite run as well as we had hoped to run in that. We were hoping to run closer to 8 minutes flat. We were just a few ticks off there as well. And but again, it's competition. Some days you're on, some days you're not, and that's what makes you appreciate the days that you're on so much. Are you put in the same amount of work, the same amount of preparation, and sometimes things just don't quite go the way you had planned on them going.
Yeah, you look at the field when you're talking about a 3rd or 4th place finish, Coach, and you've already alluded to it, but to seeing the field behind them just makes it even more impressive to look at.
Yep. We'll talk about this a little bit more in a little bit, but you think of who we beat on the boys' side to get into the top 6. I mean, we beat all Sioux Falls public schools, except for Jefferson. They were just ahead of us. Except for Lincoln, and they were just ahead of us. And again, if you shake up the Yahtzee jar and spill the dice a different time, we beat Sioux Falls Lincoln. And you're looking at schools that are 2.5 times larger than us. So, and have very good track teams and have very good track athletes on them. There are athletes on all of those Sioux Falls public schools that D1 athletes in football and this sport, volleyball, that sport, other ones. So when you see how our kids are competing against those schools with so much larger numbers, it's just it's exciting to see.
Cody Oswald finished third in the 110-meter hurdles. I know he was all year trying to get to this point, and an excellent performance from him.
Yep. Cody in the last, 3 weeks especially has just really turned it on. Hurdles, most people think of them as a track event, and they are a track event, of course, but they're a field event as well. And you got to have that execution. You got to have that technical aspect to it. And Cody has kind of been a man possessed here in the last month of the season, just the way he's been attacking those hurdles. And when I say that, just attacking the execution of them. He ran an incredible time of 14:74, I think it was, at the or 14:72. It slips me right now at the ESD meet. And that just he was a full hurdle ahead of everybody at the conference meet. He went into the preliminary round at the state meet, ran a 15 flat, basically 15:02, but again had a great start, got out in front of everybody and just maintained his lead, ran a clean, perfect race, did not hit any hurdles. He had that issue last year where he deflected a hurdle into another lane at the state meet and was disqualified. So I know that was hanging over his head all year long, and to have that kind of pressure that he put on himself, like anybody would in that situation, and to see him come through and execute, finish third in the event on Saturday in the finals to two incredibly good hurdlers. There was the kid out of Sturgis who's been phenomenal all year long, and then there was this kid in the last week and a half from Sioux Falls Roosevelt who just kind of came out of the woodwork and who's executed his race great and also beat Cody. But Cody definitely lost to two really, really fine hurdlers. He has nothing to be disappointed in that. I know going into the season and even into the state meet, we were hoping that he'd be able to pull off a state title, but he ran his best race and somebody else just happened to run better. But it was very satisfying to see Cody accomplish that. He also ran very well for the first 7 hurdles of the 300 hurdles. And on the last hurdle, his steps got kind of off and he would have easily been in the finals, but basically had to almost come to a jump stop before he hurdled the last hurdle. He went out and sold out and didn't have anything left in the tank. And that's one of those things where if we can convert that and get him over that final hurdle, he's in the finals, and we gives us the possibility of moving up in the team rankings. But we had that happen a couple other spots too that we'll talk about as time goes on here. But Cody, just excited for him and what he was able to accomplish at the state meet.
All right, I'm going to throw a combination at you. Rugby Riken finished 4th in the 400. Austin Goebel took 6th in the boys 100. And then they were both on the team of the Bucks 1,600-meter relay team that finished 3rd.
Yep. I'm going to start out with Austin just because he scored our second points of the state meet. He was in the long jump on Thursday, popped a 22-foot plus jump out there, just over 22 feet, finished second, got the Bucks 8 points towards that eventual 6th place finish. Austin, just going to be exciting to see him next year. He's only a junior. As a senior, just seeing how much he matured this year, the hunger that he has, the maturity, the competitiveness, the work he puts in. Ran a great time both in the prelims and in the finals of the 1,600-meter relay for us. Got 6th in the 100. The thing with the 100-meter dash, you could throw a blanket over all of those top 8 finishers. It just was bang, 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 bang at the finish, as it usually is. That's what's so special about being able to execute that race. And then I thought Austin ran, I'm not trying to cause a controversy when I say this, but to my eye, Austin ran his best race of the year in the 200. And I don't know if odds are it wasn't a timing malfunction. There must have been a gust of wind that came up because everybody in that heat was slower than they looked like the only person who made the finals out of that heat was the heat winner, which is a very odd thing to have happen. Usually you have at least one other person from each heat in there, but Austin not making the 200, that was just another one of those things that was just very close, to being able to get us into the finals with another individual, and then that gives you the opportunity to score those points in the final. But Austin had a great meet. He was a member of that 1600 meter relay team that went into the final event of the day in 7th place, ran well, executed. And that team was made up of Austin, like you said, Rugby, Riken, who we'll talk about a little bit more in depth here in just a second, and then Cooper Grotenhuis and Nate Schoenfelder again. Those guys ran incredibly well in that finals in the mile relay. They were hanging in there with both O'Gorman and Aberdeen Central. I think Aberdeen Central ended up winning it, or O'Gorman. I wasn't really paying attention. I guess it's not on the top of my head. They both wear blue and gold, so
one of those teams, right? I can try to look it up
whoever
here.
won that event ended up breaking the state meet record in the 1600 meter relay, and both teams ended up on the top 10 list all time in the mile relay, and we were right behind them both with our band of 4 guys. So, and then rugby, like you mentioned, the 400 meter dash, the quarter, it's kind of the Maseratis race there a little bit. If you're thinking of athletes, I mean, that's kind of the combination of speed and distance that is in the sweet spot of a lot of really good athletes, and rugby fits right in that category. You look at the Wildy kid who was in there. There's just some incredibly good runners in that they're, are absolute studs in other sports as well. And for rugby to be in that field and to pull off the placing that he pulled off, and then also the thing that's just special about rugby, all of the other sports that he's so dedicated to and does so well at, and that people in the Yankton community and people around the state just get to see him compete and take joy in seeing his level of skill, whether it be on the football field. We'd be talking a lot more about Rugby Riken if it wasn't for Lincoln Keenholz this year in football, for instance. He was a great high school quarterback, and the people in Yankton who understand football know that. To think of what he and the boys basketball team were able to pull off during the boys basketball season, and then rugby's playing 2 sports here in the spring. As mature an individual who I've ever had in that situation as I've been a coach, dedicates himself to both sports, takes care of his body for both sports, being spring baseball and track and field, and is, you tell a kid, if you're going to do both those sports, you can't do them both 50-50. You can't do them both half and half. You have to do them both 100%. And rugby is able to do that. And we have several boys that fall into that category as well on the team, but rugby's kind of the focal point on that at this point, just given his senior status and his spot in both of those, being a really good athlete and participant in both of those. And for him to step out on the track and do what he did in everything that we asked him to do. He also ran a leg on our 4x1. Our boys 4x1 ran just under their fastest time of the year. They ran 44:17, I believe, which got them about 11th. So they were very close to getting into the finals of the 4x1, which is an absolutely incredibly fast race right now in South Dakota.
Yeah, he is just one of those athletes that will be defined for an entire generation. There's a lot of generational talent, as you said, on these teams and stuff, but rugby is definitely one of those guys we'll be talking about for a long time, Coach. And I've just been really blessed to be able to call all this sports, so it's been pretty fun. A couple more results to go over. In this one, while she finished 11th, it's important because this is a culmination of what you're always talking about, Coach, is getting better throughout the season, all the way through the state tournament, that stay a chance. She finished 11th in the girls 1600, but she did set a new season best time of 5 minutes 21.78 seconds, literally improving throughout the entire year.
Yep. And then Thea also in the 3,200 meter run on Friday finished in 9th. So she was just outside of the points there. I know she was disappointed with that, but also excited with her finish there and where she finished. Thea's just been a spark and a sparkling person for us, personality on the track team all year. It's been a blessing to get to know her and to be able to coach her. And I know her other coaches feel the same way in that situation. And then she was also got to be a member of our girls 3,200 meter relay that we talked about earlier and got 3rd place.
And then 3 athletes, Coach Kiera Christ, Tierney Falk, and Olivia Dimmer, all in the hurdles. Did finish outside of your top 8, but just outside of it, and just a great performance from all 3 of them.
Yep. 2 of those individuals, Kiera Christ and Olivia Dimmer, get to come back next year. They're going to be stalwarts in the hurdle program and continue to compete there. Olivia also runs legs on the the relays for us, and Kiera will be in that mix more next year as well. But Tierney Falk has been an absolute blessing for us as a coaching staff and as a team. She's a quiet leader. She gets things done. She's going to go on and jump at USF next year. She, very good jumper in both the triple jump and the long jump. Things didn't quite work out in the hurdles this weekend the way we had hoped. Of course, last year as a junior, she finished 2nd in the 300 hurdles. It was just a very odd situation, the way things worked out at the state track meet with the timing of things. She was in the finals of the triple jump. She placed there. I think she got 6th. And then literally, I'm not exaggerating this, but she had to run across the infield to get to the start of the 300 hurdles. I barely got up into the bleachers myself on that, and it just was horrible timing the way the schedule worked out. And she got 9th. Again, there's that dreaded 9th place finish in the prelims of the 300 hurdles and didn't advance. I know she was very disappointed in that, but it doesn't take anything away from the things that she's accomplished as a high school athlete. And she's just been a blessing to work with.
Well, Coach, this is where you and I issue a blanket future apology for anyone that we may have missed during the track and field season, because there's always going to be one, right? But overall, just what a season for the Bucks and Gazelles, improving throughout the year. I know that was just one of the things you mentioned many times in our early talks, is that's all you wanted from your first year, especially, is to see improvement from the team. And would you say that was a mission accomplished?
Oh, definitely. We've got, I think, a hunger for things to come. We're going to relish this season. We've got a team awards evening that we have on Thursday of this week. At the airing of this, we already have handed those things out, but we're going to recognize the different accomplishments that we've had throughout the season. Announce a few things with some track and field camps that are going to be in the area over the course of the summer. I know people are busy with baseball and basketball camp and softball camps and football camps and everything else, but we do have some opportunities here in the Yankton area. There's a throws camp coming up here. And if your athlete wants to get involved in that, that's, forget the exact dates here, I don't have in front of me, but it's like the week here of June 12th. So it's coming up very quickly. You can get a hold of me and we'll get kids of all ages involved in that. But yes, it was a great season. We've got some great kids, great assistant coaches, and I'm very confident and excited about the future of Buck and Gazelle track and field.
Well, Coach, I've enjoyed our talks this season, our first year doing this together. I appreciate you always taking the time to record with me. And just, again, I'm just so happy to have you in Yankton. And again, you taking the time. Thanks for joining us all season long. And mostly important, congratulations on a very successful Bucks and Gazelle season.
Thanks for your support, Bryce.
Again, that was the final conversation I will have with Coach Jeff Gross for the 2023 track and field season. We'll pick it up again next year, of course. But special thanks to him for joining us on the Pizza Ranch phone line and for taking the time all year for me and you, the listener and viewer of the Coach's Corner. We'll take a break. We'll come back and let's start turning our attention toward Yankton Gazelles golf. This is the Coach's Corner. Good morning.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966. And with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Give your home a fresh start and use the proven method of fumigation to take care of your pest problem. Olson's Pest Technicians will thoroughly get rid of pests so you can rest easy again. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KILL-BUG. That's 1-800-KILBUGS.
Think about how people really see you. The kid at the drive-thru just sees a coffee drinker.
Please pull forward.
Your local barista sees the person who loves a smiley face in their latte.
See you next time.
It's kind of the same way with insurance. Other insurance companies just see a customer, but a State Farm agent sees more. They see you as a neighbor. Your State Farm agent is here to get to know who you really are so they can help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Rhonda Westland at 665-4411 today to learn more.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. CoreTrust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. All from CoreTrust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit CoreTrustBank.com today.
Member FDIC.
Do you have dry, sore, or irritated eyes? If so, you may have dry eye. At Vision Care Associates, we offer a simple, fast, and non-surgical procedure to treat black glands in your eyelids that can help your eyes to feel comfortable again. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Fieser to find out about dry eye treatment with our newest technology.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MTRC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. MTRCSmithInsurance.com.
At Triple Time Rudy's, you get convenient access to quality fuel products. Plus, you'll also find quality South Dakota products like Dimmock cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. With a local-friendly feel and unique product offering, Triple Time Rudy's is your local convenience store that supports schools and events and provides fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers. For all of your daily fill-ups and convenience needs, pull into Triple Time Rudy's at 17th and Broadway.
Buying or selling your home is one of the biggest decisions you may make in your lifetime. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and I'm ready to help guide you with professional advice from before the listing until after the close. Not only will you get real estate knowledge, but also we provide moving boxes and an enclosed courtesy trailer to help make the move just a little easier. Call me today at 664-5555.
And welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig, and Yankton Gazelles Golf is off to the state tournament later next week, or coming up in a couple days, actually. And this will be the final conversation I have with Coach Brett Syme, however, as his schedule and my schedule, just impossible to get a conversation in by the show next week, as either I'm completely not available or he may not be available. So we're just going to decide this would be our last conversation of the season. However, I will go over the state results in the final Coach's Corner of the year in very full detail, top to bottom, and wrap up the Gazelles golf season the best way I can for you here on the Coach's Corner. But this is the conversation I had with Coach Brett Syme earlier this week. He joined me on the Pizza Ranch phone line. All right, let's start talking Yankton Gazelles golf with Coach Brett Syme here on the Coaches Corner. Coach, you just wrapped up regular season competition at the Brandon Valley Invite on Tuesday. So why don't we go ahead and let you talk about how the Gazelles did, and then we'll start previewing the state tournament.
Well, yeah, we performed pretty well on Tuesday. The Brandon Valley Invite's always kind of a fun one. It's after the qualifying scores have to be in, so Brandon decides that they're going to play at a little bit different format. It's a little bit kind of like the Marchand Cup that we play early in the year against Mitchell. There's 3 different formats we play. Holes 1 through 6 are scramble. 7 through 12 is best ball, where they both play and you take the better score. And then the last 6 holes, 13 through 18, is alternate shot. So you just shoot the scores and add them all together for your team score. So the scores look kind of low because you actually only get 3 scores because you got 2 girls paired together. And, then they take the individual results and they place the top 8 teams and give them medals. But we performed pretty well. We ended up in second place behind Watertown. We shot a 262. I know it's a little bit different scoring, we're used to hearing 300 something, but again, it's like having 3 scores. But we had Sabrina Kraske and Madison Reichen shooting 84, which was a tie for 5th. And they played really well today. They gelled together. And that's one nice thing about our girls is they have good team chemistry. And sometimes that's what you need when you're playing this style of format. Elia Homestead and Jordan Cunningham shot 87, which was good enough to be in a tie for 8th. But they lost out on the medals due to a scorecard playoff. Their last 9 holes, 10 through 18, weren't as good as the others, and that was their tiebreaker. But they were in a tie for 8th, so that was good. And Elsie Larson and Gracie Brockberg, our 2 seniors, shot a 91, which put all of our teams in the top half of the 25 twosome field. So, we were all 12th or better, and that made it a good tournament for us. And we ended up quite a bit ahead of the other schools that were there. You had the 4 Sioux Falls public schools, you had O'Gorman, and you had Brandon there. So it was a good day for the Gazelles. And, hopefully it was a little bit of fun getting to play with a partner. The girls were actually able to get carts because of the scramble format that we use. That way they're not chasing balls all over the course. So it was kind of fun for them there too. But, hopefully kind of a little bit more relaxed round, but still had to go out and compete. You still have to hit the shots to be able to do well. And, hopefully add some fun, before we get back into it here for the next few days and try and get ready for the state tournament.
All right. The only golf course we talk more about than Fox Run this year is Pure Hillsview, obviously, because you already played there earlier in the season. The Gazelles did quite well. A lot of great individual performances. You already went over those last week, Coach, but just kind of give us the plans going into the state tournament. You heading up there Sunday, and tell us a little bit about the course again.
Yeah, we'll head up there Sunday. We're going to play a practice round. 5 of the girls have played there. One of them hasn't. So it'll be good to go up there and get some practice in. The course, I think, like I said, I think last week, I think it fits our eye pretty well. The girls, a bunch of them have played there before. We had the conference there last year. So some of them saw it last year and at the Peer Invite. Most of the other girls saw it at the Peer Invite. We've just got one that hasn't played it. So she'll get to see it in the practice round. And Peer is a pretty straightforward course. There's just a couple of holes that can jump up and grab you a little bit, hole number 6 and hole number 12. But we'll talk about how to maneuver through those holes during the practice round. But it's not a super long course. You don't have to hit it a mile to be able to score good there. You just got to play smart. And, I think if we go up there and we figure it out during the practice round, I think we can go up and try to compete to try and get into those top 6 spots. But it's going to be tough. There's a lot of teams out there that are going to be fighting, for some of those, lower placing spots. We talked a lot throughout the season that, Aberdeen, Mitchell, Rapid City, Stevens, they've kind of been tops in the state throughout the season. But there is a lot of schools that could be there fighting for that 4, 5, 6 spot. And if we go up and play well, I think we can be one of them. We at the Peer Invite earlier, I mentioned last week that that we were in 4th place. So if we go up there and put a couple of good rounds together and we play smart and, keep our heads about us and get on those greens and be able to putt them well, because they're some of the biggest greens in the state. I think we can go up and we can compete to try and get into the top 6, which is always a goal for us.
Monday, June 5th, Tuesday, June 6th, Pure Hillsview Golf Course, the AA State Tournament. Coach, as always, thanks for joining us. We'll be keeping a close eye on that state tournament. We'll talk one more time next week, hopefully talking about a really excellent Gazelles performance. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks a lot, Bryce.
All right, again, thanks to Coach Brett Simon for joining me all season long and taking the time. Best of luck to the Yankton Gazelles at state early this coming week. I appreciate his time that he took, but there is still more Gazelles golf to talk about. And again, we will go over those results in full on the next weekend's show, and that'll be the final show of the sports calendar year until the fall. All right, let's come back and let's wrap things up, but also talk about Yankton Gazelles softball going on in Aberdeen. It's the AA State Tournament. That's all coming up here on the Coach's Corner.
First Dakota National Bank has been paving financial futures since 1872. But when it comes to supporting a community, it takes more than experience. Financial planning takes a personal touch, which is why we offer a wide range of customizable options for personal, business, and ag banking. We've been doing banking longer than anyone else, but we're first because our goals have never changed. Helping local communities plan and reach their financial success has and always will be what we're here for. Member FDIC.
You feel awful. Stuffy nose, then runny nose, the sniffles too. You don't know what to take to make yourself feel better. This is Michael with Yankton Rexall. When you feel under the weather, you want relief, but there are a lot of over-the-counter choices. Some may even interfere with daily medications you're taking. At Yankton Rexall, our staff is here to help you make the best choice for your health. Yankton Rexall, your hometown pharmacy since 1923, located in the Meridian District.
There are a lot of benefits for your small business when you have a relationship with your locally owned and operated The UPS Store. I'm Doug Frederick, manager of the UPS Store of Yankton. Not only do we provide excellent customer service, but we also provide the necessary tools to help your small business thrive. We can help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs, even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing, every ing for your small business, and of course, shipping. The UPS Store of Yankton, across from Walmart.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Bring the crew to Pete's Ranch in Yankton. This is Annie, and we have legendary pizza and chicken just waiting for you on our buffet. Let us know what you're craving, and we'll make it fresh and bring you the first slice. Or let us deliver right to your front door. Your locally owned Yankton Pizza Ranch on Broadway, 665-1222.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Are you new to the Yankton area, or have you lived here your entire life and just bought that house in the corner you've loved since you were a kid? Have an agent that lives, works, and raises their family right alongside of you. You may know me. I'm Skylar Sherman with Missouri River Associates in Yankton. Give me a call, or even stop me in the store, and let's set up a time and make sure all of your insurance policies are right.
Missouri River Associates, 605-665-6885.
Spring is the perfect time of year to start upgrading your home. And what better place to start than with your garage doors? This is Cody Miles, owner of Upper Midwest Garage Door. We offer a wide variety of American-made, unique Clopay garage doors. Free in-home consultations, a digital preview of the new garage doors on your home, and the expert small-town service you deserve. Home improvement season is here. Get started today with your local independent Clopay dealer. Give us a call, stop by, or learn more at uppermidwestgaragedoor.com.
And welcome back to the Coaches Corner. This is Bryce Ladwig. The state tournament, AA state tournament, sanctioned softball at Kohler Hall of Fame Field on the campus of Northern State University. Yankton went in as the 8th seed and fell in the first round to number 1 Sioux Falls Lincoln 7-1. Fell in the second round to Sioux Falls Washington 7-4. Sioux Falls Washington the 5th seed. And will play today for the 7th, 8th place game at 10 a.m. And you can listen to that live on KYNT. Jeff Duffy of Riverfront Broadcasting, you may know him out of Huron, will be covering that game for us, as we also have baseball going on in Yankton as well, the Kyle Mueller Classic. And we'll catch up with Coach Jill Muth, by the way, for the final time in the season next week, for next week's show. And as I said, the Kyle Mueller Classic still going on here at Yankton at Riverside Field. So if you can't make it down to the ballpark, make sure you tune in on KYN TV. And then tonight, KYNT and KYN TV, as there's 2 games today. Should be a good one at the ballpark. Best of luck to the Gazelles in their 7th, 8th place game. And thank you to all the coaches for joining me on the Pizza Ranch phone line. We're going to go ahead and sign off here for the day. Thank you for joining us on the earlier version and KYN TV only version of the Coaches Corner. I'm Bryce Ladwig. Go Bucks, go Gazelles, go.